How's everybody today? Well, it was, really, great to have 16 signees today to join the 8 players that we already have enrolled at mid-semester. I think one of the, very good things about this class is, we didn't have a lot of drama today in terms of these guys have been committed to us for a while. They've all kind of had their signing day or whatever, or announcements, and most of them stuck to it, and that's not the way to get the most attention from the media, but that certainly speaks highly of what a commitment means, and I'm really proud of the players that we got from that standpoint. When you have a recruiting class, any recruiting class, it's accumulation of a lot of hard work from a lot of people. We have a great team here at Alabama. A lot of people contribute to helping us recruit. It starts with our assistant coaches who do a great job of finding the prospects, evaluating the prospects, making good choices and decisions about the kind of character players that we recruit. Our administration here, Dr. Witt, Dr. Bonner, they all contribute to helping us recruit. Our faculty here does a fantastic job every Saturday when we ask them to do academic interviews, and our fans who create a tremendous atmosphere, whether it's at A-Day when we have a lot of prospects there, or it's at Bryant-Denny Stadium for the games that we have. I think all these things contribute to why players want to be a part of the program here, which is based on the fact that we want to create value for our players in terms of helping them be more successful in life for having been involved in the program. There's a lot of personal development that goes into that to make good choices and decisions, academic support to help them graduate and develop a career off the field, the coaches and the support staff helping them develop careers as football players, and our Career Development Center works hard to help them when they graduate so they get the best opportunities in life. I think from a need standpoint, we solved some needs in this class, no doubt. It's always good to get a good quarterback prospect, which is a very important position, for any team, but especially for us. We're able to, get some quality runners at the running back position. I think the 2 receivers that we got are, very, very good players. We got 5 offensive linemen in this class, and that's an area that I think that we need to add to. We're going to be a little thin in the spring with the people that we lost, and it's going to be good to get some new guys there that can maybe add some depth and compete to play for us in the near future. Secondary and linebacker were the primary needs defensively, and I was pleased with the numbers and the quality of players that we got at both of those positions. Last year we got a lot of defensive linemen. We're happy with the guys that we got this year at that position, but it wasn't where we were trying to get a number of guys. I know that there's going to be a lot of talk and speculation, and everybody relates to recruiting based on how'd you get ranked. And every coach is going to stand here at this podium that coaches college football and say they're pleased with the guys that they recruited. No one has a bad recruiting class, and we're certainly pleased with our guys. But predicting how a young person is going to do academically and athletically in college by giving him some rating when he's in high school is not very scientific. And we try to use science to create things that are very subjective in terms of what someone's performance is going to be, and I don't think that's really possible. There's no scientific way to know what the achievement of any person is going to be in anything that they try to do. It's just, not possible. We sign players that we feel that we can develop and hope that we can develop personally, academically, and athletically to be quality people, good students, and play winning football here for us. And that's certainly the most important thing for us. And we don't want to create any expectations for players. I think what the players need to do is focus on what they need to do to develop as players and focus on what they need to do to be a complete player at their position. not worry about living up to some reputation that was created for them before they ever got here, so that they can be successful college football players. That's our goal for them, and that's what I'd like for their goal to be as well. But again, I'd like to express a special thanks to everybody who worked so hard to put this class together, and we feel like it's a very good class.
Nick, can you talk to us a little bit about the process you went through with Jonathan Taylor, a guy who was accused of choking and hitting a woman in the face, and why you felt that he was able to get a third chance with Alabama?
Well, this was a decision that got made by a lot of people here. It was a university decision. And, we recruited this young man out of high school, and we felt that from what we knew about him, what his high school coaches said, even what the people at the school that he was at said about him, that and where he came from in junior college, that he was the kind of guy that deserved a second chance. But with that chance, we also have stipulations of things that he needs to do from a personal development standpoint, so that he won't make any kind of mistake like this ever again. And that's an ongoing process with him, and that's something that we continue to monitor, and he has done a very good job with.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Jonathan Taylor. You can skip me to the next guy.
I wondered, how important is it to keep not just in-state but hometown recruits, guys like Lester Cotton, in-house, and is it not as important anymore given the national recruiting, especially what you guys do? Does that take away any importance from keeping the local guys here?
Well, we really feel like we want to do a great job of recruiting every prospect that we feel like can help our program in a 5-hour radius of the University of Alabama, and especially when it comes to guys that live in our state. There's a lot of competition for these guys, and but we really think that it's an important part of building our program, and it's the best way to keep continuity with a recruiting base. The relationships that we have with the coaches, and having players in the program here helps get the next player. So 2 years in a row, we had Bo Scarborough a year ago, who's really here now, and Lester this year. I think it's important, and there'll be good prospects in the future that we'll have the same feeling about. But I also think that it's important to, because of national recruiting, to be able to spread your wings a little bit and have a program that will attract very good players from various other parts of the country, and so that we get the quality of players that can hopefully compete at a high level here and give us the best opportunity to be successful as they develop and grow, and play winning football for us in the future.
Coach, wanted to ask about Kennedy, offensive lineman. Just your thoughts on him and just your offensive lineman overall.
Well, Brandon Kennedy, very good athlete. He's developed the size. We probably think he'll be an inside player, a center or guard for us, but he's very athletic. He's got good feet, good balance and body control, and played very well in the All-Star games. And Hudson Houck, who was our offensive line coach at the Miami Dolphins, coached those guys down there. So in some of these All-Star games, so it's good to see if they're doing what he teaches. And I know he's a really good coach and a good friend. So we're excited about Brandon, and we also like the other offensive line players that we have. It was a real emphasis for us to get a couple tackle types. Lester may be able to play tackle. We think Womack definitely, Matt has the length to do that, and very impressed with him athletically. So we have a diverse group there, which I think is important, but I really think, tackle types is something that we really want to focus on in the future, and we really wanted to focus on in this class.
Coach, you alluded to a number of guys who committed and stuck with you. How has that changed, and how much maintenance do you have to do once guys commit these days?
Well, I don't think that we change how we recruit guys once they commit. I don't think you can. I think you have to keep recruiting guys day in and day out, week in and week out, because more and more guys, I don't have any statistics to prove this, but it seems like more and more guys change, right, and flip. And, they actually get a lot of attention for doing it, which I don't think is a good thing. But I know that creates interest, and there's a lot of people out there that want to know all these things. And so if a guy really commits and sticks to it and doesn't ever change, he doesn't get any attention. He's like a forgotten man with you all and with the public. And if a guy changes a lot, he gets a lot of attention. And if I say I'm going here today and go someplace else tomorrow, then change to the next place the next week, he's on the front page of USA Today and all kind of stuff. So I don't think that you can really think that just because a guy verbally commits that you don't need to continue to recruit him, because you do become the target to some degree by a lot of other schools who continue to recruit him.
You mentioned getting Blake Barnett, quarterback. How's his transition been? He's just started school a couple weeks ago. And did he have an impact on this class? We heard he was helping, talk up Alabama to other guys.
Well, I think a lot of guys, did a good job of, we had however many guys we had in All-Star game. These guys develop relationships when they play in these All-Star games, and they start communicating with each other, and they have a lot of pride. And, I don't know how many guys we had down there in that game. I think there was, maybe 12 at the time. There may have been more that committed later in the Under Armour game. And I think we had 3 in the Army All-Star game. And I think once they do that, they really do try to sort of, how can I impact the class in another way by trying to recruit another player. So, if you do commit to Alabama and you want to come to that school, the thing that endears your future the most, especially if you play quarterback and you want to have a lot of good guys playing around you, it's recruit some other good guys. And, I think Blake did a good job of that, but I also think there was a lot of other guys in this class that did a good job of that as well.
Nick, back to the Jonathan Taylor situation. That domestic violence is obviously a huge issue here in society lately. Is there concern at all about what message some people may take from you signing a player with pending domestic violence charges?
Well, I think, the guy was charged, and there's no question about that. He was accused. I can't discuss the circumstances of all that. But, I've said this before, that when people are young and they make a mistake, and that is not a mistake that we condone in any way, shape, or form, that you don't, that's any disrespect to any person, let alone a female, that there isn't some occasion to not condemn them for life, but to give them another chance. And it's up to them to prove that they deserve that chance. And when they get that opportunity, they need to definitely do their very best to take advantage of it. So this is a decision that we made, and I know the sensitivity of the issue, and we're going to do what we can to help this young man have success here and not have issues in the future.
What's the strategy or thought process behind you? You guys have signed a quarterback in every class, and what's kind of the thought behind that? And would you rule out not starting a guy just because he's a true freshman?
No, I wouldn't rule that out. I mean, at all. I mean, if he's the best player, why would we not play him? That's like saying, guy's from California, so would you not play him because he's from California? I mean, we wouldn't have recruited him. I mean, you know, if the guy's the best player, we're going to play him. Just like Julio Jones was the best player when he was a wide receiver as a freshman, and we played him, or Amari Cooper was, or, you know, Trent Richardson was. So if the guy's ready to play and he's the best player, that means he's done something to deserve the right to play. About recruiting a quarterback every year, I think that all gets based on, you know, the body of players that you have here, the quality of players that you have at that position. Do you feel like you have a significant number of guys who can develop into playing winning football for you? And if that's the case, maybe if you have enough quarterbacks on scholarship, maybe there's a year where you don't recruit one. But it's also a position that mobility, when I say mobility, I'm talking about guys leaving programs when they think they're not going to play, is something that is not uncommon. So if you have a circumstance like that where you have a younger player beats out older players, sometimes the older players will leave. So you're always trying to plan for all the circumstances relative to what can happen at a particular position. And, you know, when we can add quality to a position, we're always going to do it. I think probably a tougher question is why would you not recruit more than one guy at that position? I think if you're short in numbers, that's something that you would consider doing as well.
This is off topic, but one of your former assistant coaches, Dan Quinn, just recently got the head coaching job with Atlanta Falcons. What do you remember about him as a coach, and what do you think he'll do over there?
Well, Dan Quinn is an outstanding coach, very bright guy, you know, high energy, good teacher, really well liked by the players. Players really respond to him. And it's because he's a good teacher and he's a good coach, and he affects their ability to be successful, and that's what, you know, any player wants, but especially professional players. And I think he'll do an outstanding job. I mean, you couldn't do a more outstanding job than he did as a coordinator. He certainly proved what kind of leadership he has with the group that he had in Seattle the last couple of years with what they've done defensively. So we're really pleased and happy for him, and I think he'll do a great job for the Falcons.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.